Entergy provides much more than power. We support science and engineering at local schools to build a brighter path to better jobs and help prepare the next generation. Because together, we power life. Entergy.
Additional support provided by the Fred B. and Ruth B. Ziegler Foundation and the Ziegler Art Museum located in Jennings City Hall. The museum focuses on emerging Louisiana artists and is an historical and cultural center for Southwest Louisiana. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, with support from viewers like you.
The corn would be the last week of July.
But this land will become a flood zone instead.
NOAA is predicting an average season.
The official hurricane season begins. Are you ready?
As a city, we're really doing good.
Ruston rebounding after a devastating killer tornado. Hi, everyone. I'm Andre Moreau.
And I'm Natasha Williams. Much more on those top stories in a moment on this week's edition of SWI. But first, a look at stories making headlines across the state. President Donald Trump has signed a federal disaster declaration for Louisiana just before the opening of the Morganza Spillway, which could flood the Atchafalaya Basin and about 25,000 acres of farmland. The spillway will be open for the third time in its 65-year history and release between 9,000 and 150,000 cubic feet of water per second. A Wednesday tweet by Governor John Bel Edwards thanked President Trump for the declaration, which includes protective measures such as sandbags and direct federal assistance for some parishes. Louisiana's Department of Health says laboratories must now report all tests for HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis C, even tests indicating someone doesn't have the ailment. Louisiana has a very high rate of all three diseases, which can be fatal. State officials say getting all test results will give a clearer picture of epidemics and efforts to stop them. The department says a negative test might not rule out an infection or might provide important information about treatment success. Environmentalists are seeking a court order allowing them to march on two southeast Louisiana bridges to protest pollution by petrochemical companies. In a lawsuit Wednesday, they say state officials have refused them permission to march on an Interstate 10 bridge in Baton Rouge and on the Sunshine Bridge, which spans the Mississippi River at St. James Parish. The lawsuit says the group plans a 5-day march beginning Thursday. They want permission to be on the bridges Saturday or Sunday when they would have the least effect on traffic. Governor John Bel Edwards and the heads of the State Transportation Department and State Police are defendants in the lawsuit, which was filed in Baton Rouge. The governor's office did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The Louisiana Department of Health says a possible case of whooping cough has been found at a New Orleans school. Officials say one student at the Broadway campus of the Audubon Charter School was found to have a suspected case of the highly contagious disease. Earlier this month, news outlets reported that the Metairie Park Country Day canceled its last week of classes because of 5 cases among its students. Officials say Wednesday that only 2 of those students met national criteria for confirmation. So far this year, 43 cases of whooping cough, also called pertussis, have been confirmed in Louisiana. Louisiana officials say a record number of last year's public high school graduates enrolled in college immediately following graduation. The Education Department and Board of Regents announced that 25,083 of those graduates became college students in the fall. That's an increase of more than 1,500 over the previous year and 4,600 more than the class of 2012, a nearly 23% increase over 6 years. Officials say more than half of the growth is tied to increases in the number of African American students attending college. The college enrollment figures come after the Education Department announced Louisiana's public 4-year high school graduation rate surpassed 80% for the first time in 2018.
Well, we have 1 week to go at the state capitol for lawmakers, but this week grabbed the biggest headline so far during session 2019. The governor Thursday signed into law a ban on abortion as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy. He's a Democrat, so the move has riled up his own party while putting him in line with other conservative southern states. It makes Louisiana the 5th state to enact a law that prohibits abortion when a fetal heartbeat is detected. The signing will not, though, limit the state's 3 abortion clinics anytime soon. It will only take effect if the law in neighboring Mississippi, recently blocked by a judge, is upheld by a federal appeals court. Also Thursday, House Republicans started advancing a $3.8 billion formula for public schools. It would give teachers pay raises and increase block grants to districts. The bill had been stalled all session, but critics revved up their cries that some lawmakers were playing politics. State senators late Wednesday stopped a bid to roll back the hard-fought 7-year tax compromise struck by lawmakers last year. The House GOP was pushing to shrink those dollars available in the state treasury. Opponents said, though, this was way too soon to meddle with the tax deal that kept the state off the fiscal cliff. The welcome signs along I-10 could soon celebrate the New Orleans Saints, declaring that people coming in from Texas or Mississippi have entered the home of Who Dat Nation. A similar sign is planned for the Superdome exit in downtown New Orleans. That bill also includes a provision to designate a stretch of Highway 90 from Lafayette to Raceland as the Governor Kathleen Babineau Blanco Highway, in honor of the former governor. Also this week, the odds of legalizing sports betting grew dim after the bill early seemed to have momentum. An effort aimed at making all state officials pay a share of their sexual harassment settlements instead of taxpayer dollars got closer to final legislative passage this week, and the debate over the death penalty appears to have quieted this session. This after state senators Tuesday barely stopped a measure that would have shielded the identity of drug suppliers for executions. Final debate on a budget could headline next week's session close. We will have a full wrap and analysis from those who cover the Capitol on next Friday's SWI. For the third time in its history, the Morganza Spillway will open to divert record-high water from the Mississippi River, easing pressure on levees. The opening is now set for June 6th, and there has been scrambling in advance of it.
This wasn't happening, this event. When would this be ready to harvest?
The corn would be the last week of July.
Ted Glaser cares for his crops as if they were his own children, so you know how hard it is for him to say goodbye before they have their one chance to grow up.
Boy, it's lush, huh?
It's a lot of corn. It's a great stand of corn here, and we're in the pollination period now.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see that's from the tassels up top is falling, and that's the pollen. It's being pollinated right as we speak.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Let me see, it's coming.
Oh, wow.
We'll break it off and do it. Now it won't be another week. You could come out here and you can break it and you can eat it.
Really?
It'll be sweet.
That soon?
It'll be milk. Yeah, there's probably some milk in it now.
It is beautiful.
It's beautiful, and we take pride in what we grow.
Glaser and other farmers who stand to lose their crops, cattle farmers in a hurry to move their herds to safety, all know the risks associated with this land. And they know the rewards.
Pops a bubble. It takes the sting out of you. But you know going in. But on the other hand, if you roll the dice, you can't find any better soil in the United States than you're looking at right here.
That best soil, as Glaser calls it, has endured even as the elements that help it become rich have become more unpredictable. More and heavier rain, higher water. Since 2011, what will be the second time for the Morganza Spillway to be opened, and it almost opened a third time.
This is unheard of, unforeseen. It never happened before since they've been keeping records. I mean, the Midwest is rain is flooded. The eastern side of the Mississippi is flooded. The western side of the Mississippi is flooded, and 46% or something like that of all the water in the United States and part of Canada drains down the Mississippi River. So that's all, and we're on the bottom end of it.
Yes, we are.
Glaser has insurance that will cover some of the loss of the hundreds of thousands of dollars invested, and he has no issue with the spillway opening. He knows that's why it was built, for times like this. Louisiana's political leaders, though, know that times like this have changed, become more extreme. So they're lobbying Washington for help.
We're paying the price for down in South Louisiana, and just recognizing that some of these folks that are being injured by all of this water that's flooding Louisiana, they need the federal government to come in recognizing that it's the nation sending us this water.
Get everything out of harm's way, because if you look at the inundation maps, some areas between 1 and 6 feet, a lot of areas 7, 8 feet at a minimum. This is going to be a long event. In 1973, it lasted 56 days. In 2011, it lasted 55 days. This could last much longer.
In the days ahead of that, there is some consolation about the land that Glaser loves so much. He knows its ability to bounce back. What hurts is that this year, it has rebounded in a big way from the recent past. These soybeans were planted about 60 days ago, you said?
Right.
And they're just starting to really be
Well, they're getting
seen.
ready to take off, yeah.
How big would they get?
Oh, they're gonna reach us up about to here,
Okay.
and this whole, there would be a canopy over the whole thing. We've coming off of 2 bad years, real bad years. The potential on this crop right now, not just because it's my crop or our crop, it's a tremendous crop sitting out there, basically made, and it's just gonna, it's gonna happen.
A reminder now, the spillway expected to begin diverting water on June 6th. That's next Thursday. It was originally set to begin on Sunday, June 2nd.
The official start of hurricane season is tomorrow, Saturday, June 1st, but there's already been some action in the Atlantic.
There has. We sat down with State Climatologist Barry Keim to get his thoughts on this year's forecast and remember one of the worst storms ever, Camille, 50 years later. Barry, as always, thanks for being here to talk hurricanes. And we already have one named storm that's happened in this season, though it officially hasn't begun. And also this year, there seem to be more groups getting in on the forecasting business. So we go to you for this year's forecast.
Yeah, so the most credible forecast comes from NOAA. NOAA is predicting an average season. And in fact, most of these other groups that are predicting, they all worked with the group out of Colorado State, and all the forecasts look very, very similar.
Yes, they look very similar.
They're all looking at the same parameters. But what NOAA is forecasting, they're predicting anywhere from 9 to 15 named storms. Now, an average season is 12, so that splits right down the middle of what this forecast is. They're predicting anywhere from 4 to 8 hurricanes. Well, 6 is an average season, so again, that's right in the middle of the forecast range. And they're predicting anywhere from 2 to 4 major hurricanes, and wouldn't you know it, but 3 is the long-term average for that. So we're looking at a very, very average season, and what we have is competing parameters. We have an El Nino in place, which tends to mitigate storms. It creates a lot of wind shear over the breeding grounds in the Atlantic, but then that's a negative factor. But then we have a couple of positive factors where the sea surface temperatures are running a little bit above normal, and that's energy that feeds the storms. And then we also have an enhancement in the West African monsoon, which spins up the tropical waves, which are precursors to hurricanes. So we have this one negative factor, we have 2 positive factors, we put it all together, they kind of cancel each other out, and we end up with an average season.
And an average season, it only takes one bad one. If it hits you, then it's not average to you.
That's correct.
If you felt it.
Yeah, and of course, even in a quiet year,
Yeah.
I mean, think about 1992. We had all these parameters working against that year. We had cool sea surface temperatures, and we were in this long-term period where we just weren't getting very many hurricanes. And but 1992, we ended up with Andrew, a Category 5, which annihilated South Florida and did a pretty good number on Louisiana
Sure
as well.
did, yeah.
So, and keep in mind, that's the A storm. That's Andrew, and that thing didn't strike until the latter part of August. So that was the first storm of the season. So even a quiet year, Mother Nature can put together the ingredients to produce a real monster.
When you look at a season, do you again look at these parameters that were set forth?
We all look at this stuff, but as you noted earlier, all it takes is one to make your season. And there's lots of examples of that one storm that hits a location, and all of a sudden, it's transformational, and your world is turned upside down, and you just try to pick up the pieces. So
There was one last year, a little bit later, but Michael, and it did a just smash job on part of Florida.
yeah, Michael ended up, when it came on shore, we thought it was a Category 4 hurricane, It hit the area near Panama City and Mexico Beach, Florida. Then some reanalysis on the storm. They actually upgraded it to a Category 5. So now it is one of 4 Category 5 hurricanes that have ever hit the United States. And just to rattle those off, that would be the Labor Day hurricane in 1935, hit the Florida Keys. Then we have Camille in 69, and this is the 50th anniversary of Camille. Then we have Andrew in 92, and now Michael in 2018. So that's the big 4.
The big 4. And going back 50 years to Camille, what stood out the most about that storm?
Well, I mean,
besides being devastating for Mississippi.
Yeah, a few things. It was producing waves, 50-foot waves in the Gulf of Mexico. It intensified dramatically over the Gulf of Mexico, spun itself up into a Category 5 storm. Fortunately, it was relatively small, so the area that was affected by it was pretty limited. I mean, I was in Chalmette, not too far away from the eye of the storm, and yeah, we had some thunderstorms, probably some 40, 50 mile an hour wind gusts, but it was really not that big of a deal. But what happened in Mississippi was just devastating. At the time, it produced a 24.8-foot storm surge. That at the time, that was the biggest storm surge ever measured in the Western Hemisphere. Now it's second only to Katrina. The winds and the waves were so strong, it cut Ship Island in half. Now there's an east and a west island with Camille Pass in between. And the amount of death that took place wasn't unprecedented, of course. We had about 150 people die along the Gulf Coast from that storm. But what's really interesting, we had 143 people die along the Gulf Coast. We had 153 people die in Virginia from flooding on the James River from the same storm. So that storm packed a double punch, one being a storm surge and wind event along the Gulf Coast, and then a huge rain event up in Virginia.
The next named storm that happens to be Barry.
Yes.
But we hope for a very quiet season, something that no one is forecasting. We always hope for that.
That would be nice. The last really significant storm we've had in Louisiana was Isaac in 2012.
Right.
So my hope is that complacency isn't setting in. I mean, the last bad storm we have is we got to go back to Ike and Gustav in 2008 for any real serious impacts. Although Isaac produced a pretty good punch onto Laplace and in Plaquemines Parish, Braithwaite. The storm surges essentially wiped those communities out.
Right. Barry, thanks so much.
Hey, my pleasure.
It's been more than a month since a devastating tornado tore through the city of Ruston, Louisiana. We talk with the mayor about the millions of dollars in damage and the unbreakable spirit of residents and even strangers vowing to return the home of Louisiana Tech to its greatness.
Today, about 2 o'clock in the morning, our city was hit by a tornado.
Ruston Mayor Ronny Walker says his city is already on the long road to recovery.
We brought in 200 extra linemen. We lost 80% of our grid. We were able to get that back up in 4 days, which is incredible. Everybody predicted 10 to 14 days. We were able to get our streets passable. By no means are they finished, but get them passable enough for the buses to run on Monday. So in 4 days, we cleared the streets and we had our electrical back up.
The EF3 tornado that struck the city of 24,000 in the early morning hours of April 25th killed a 35-year-old mother and her 14-year-old son, leaving behind jaw-dropping destruction throughout the area.
We've got, 20 trucks out moving debris, but it seems like when we clear a street, then they bring up everything else that they couldn't get to the street. So that process is going to be, months. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The first week was a sprint, but now we're in that marathon phase. It's just going to take months and months to get the debris picked up. We're in the process now of working with FEMA, trying to get all of that taken care of so we can bring in some outside contractors to really start moving that debris. I want to assure our citizens that our staff, our entire city employees, 305 strong, are out working very hard.
Since day one, the mayor has given daily updates on Facebook, charting the recovery process. This post 18 days after the storm.
This map shows the actual path of the storm.
The twister was on the ground for about 8 minutes and covered nearly 7 miles. The governor has declared a state of emergency.
As the governor, I flew over the city in a helicopter. He made the comment, how in the world did y'all only have 2 fatalities, and that's too many. But yes, if it had hit the apartments that Tech has on campus and it jumped them, it hit the baseball field and then jumped over those apartments, we could have lost, just lots of lives.
Most of the damage occurred along Tech Drive near the Louisiana Tech campus and a nearby subdivision just south of Interstate 20. But Mayor Walker says with damage estimates said to be around $9 million, few in the city weren't affected by the killer storm.
It's devastating for a guy who's lived there for right at 40 years to see all the homes. We had over almost 500 structures that were either damaged or completely destroyed. We feel like we'll have 150 to 200 homes and businesses that are going to have to be demoed. And to see the thousands and thousands of beautiful trees that really made our city. But again, we're moving ahead quickly. We're already looking at reforestation in our city so that we can get trees growing again in places where we lost the trees.
The mayor says in his trips around town to survey the damage, he has heard nothing but positive stories of everyone chipping in to help, especially a large group of college students.
They have a big event every year, and it happened to be on the Saturday after the tornado. And what they do is they go out in the community and help people rake their yards, pick up limbs, whatever. They did that on their campus, 2,000 students on their campus, but also in our city. But even more so, they were out of school on Thursday and Friday. I visited with a lady, and her yard was cleaned up and everything. That was the first night. And I said, how in the world this happened? She said, I had 30 college students from Tech come help me. I said, how'd you get them? She said, they were following the sounds of the chainsaws. And these college kids were going around and just volunteering. I have a picture of about 20 of them picking up a whole tree trunk. It would have taken a machine, but they just it looked like something, that we see from 200 or 300 years ago. So Louisiana Tech, I can't say enough. Grambling students did the same.
And he says even strangers, some traveling hundreds of miles, came to Ruston to help.
It was neighbors helping neighbors. It was strangers helping strangers. It didn't matter if you were black. It didn't matter if you were white. It didn't matter what color you were. It was all about pulling together as a city. We had a team of people come in from out of state to help us. And one of them made the comment to me after the second day. He said, I've been trying to figure out what you keep talking about Ruston being a special place, and we can't figure out what it really makes it that way. And he said, but after today, we realize it's the faith that this city has.
He says everyone is keeping the faith and moving forward to rebuild their great city, no matter how long it takes.
It's a slow process of, are these people going to build their homes back? Are they going to repair them? It's just going to be a slow process. I think this is going to be a 1 or 2 year process before we can really say, wow, it's finished. It's a huge bump in our road of what we're trying to do, but it's just a bump, and we're going to smooth it out. We're moving ahead with all our projects. The City Council voted unanimously last night to do that. I think that's what our people expect.
The Ruston Twister was part of a strong spring weather system, also blamed for 3 flood-related deaths in Texas.
Climate scientists are saying severe weather will continue to increase the risk of flooding like we've seen this spring. Through a Corporation for Public Broadcasting Sinking Cities grant, LPB is partnering with public radio station WWNO to explore how the state is protecting communities in the path of climate change. WWNO reporter Travis Lux recently examined the issue with Bryn Haas, director of Louisiana's Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority.
The state is just now starting to do a study to figure out which homes in South Louisiana might qualify for like buyouts or elevations. So is this a type of project that we might start seeing more of, these non-structural projects?
Yeah, I think so. We have recently just signed an agreement with the Corps of Engineers in the southwestern part of the state, which is really the first, our first sort of dipping our toe in the water of getting into the non-structural game. So they're doing some reconnaissance work there essentially to identify which structures are at risk and what the solutions may be there. And so we're excited about that.
Mm-hmm. And so would that mean that the state would provide money for doing things like raising homes or
Yes.
voluntary buyouts? So the state would pay people to do those things?
Yes. Yeah, we will. We're looking to provide funding to be able to accomplish those. Perhaps the federal government has funding available, and it may be sitting in the bank in some of these parishes, for example, for projects where a home might be able to be elevated. But either the parish can't afford to match the federal dollars, or the homeowner, individual business owner, whoever it may be, may not be able to match the federal dollars. And so, with a relatively small expenditure on the state side, you can receive a tremendous amount of benefit and unlock a lot of dollars to do some good for the communities along the coast. And so that's kind of a low-hanging fruit situation, and that's something that we're keying in on right now.
Mm-hmm. Why now? Why is it now that you're starting to see or explore non-structural programs?
We've been in much more of a, we need levees, we need flood walls, every solution needs to be an engineered, structured solution. And obviously we've seen the vulnerabilities of some of those kinds of solutions with Hurricanes Katrina and Rita and many storms since then. So I think there's just a growing realization that we can't put a levee around every home, can't put a flood wall around every home, and that we need to look at other alternatives and find a better way to live with water rather than trying to continuously fight that water.
Learn how major cities around the world are preparing for climate change on Sinking Cities. It's airing on LPB each Sunday at 11 a.m. in June. This Sunday's episode focuses on New York. Sinking Cities was produced in conjunction with Peril and Promise. That's a WNET New York initiative telling stories of climate change around the world. And you can visit lpb.org/sinking for content about Louisiana.
Well, since it opened almost 20 years ago, the National World War II Museum in New Orleans has been a must-visit attraction and national destination for veterans and tourists.
Yeah, the museum is now in the middle of a $400 million expansion. It's designed to elevate the World War II experience to new heights. The expansion plan includes the renovation of the original Louisiana Memorial Pavilion, construction of the Hall of Democracy Pavilion for academic and outreach programs, and also additional exhibit space, and construction of the Liberation Pavilion. It's focused on end-of-war and post-war experiences.
LPB and the museum recently completed Seize and Secure the Battle for Lafayette, 1-hour documentary that will air on PBS stations around the country. Now, you can watch the premiere here on LPB beginning at 8 o'clock Thursday, June 6th, the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
And we will take you to the expanded World War II Museum in the coming weeks so you can see it all for yourself. And everyone, that is our show for this week. And we end it with a reminder about how you can watch us anywhere you are. Simply download our brand new app. It's free at your app store. You can watch this and other LPB and PBS programs whenever you want.
Just go to your app store and download this upgraded version featuring news, public affairs, documentaries, and how-tos, plus many more programs. And please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
For all of us here at Louisiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Andre Moreau.
And I'm Natasha Williams.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, that's the state we're in.
Support comes from
Entergy provides much more than power. We support science and engineering at local schools to build a brighter path to better jobs and help prepare the next generation. Because together, we power life. Entergy.
Additional support provided by the Fred B. and Ruth B. Ziegler Foundation and the Ziegler Art Museum located in Jennings City Hall. The museum focuses on emerging Louisiana artists and is an historical and cultural center for Southwest Louisiana. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, with support from viewers like you.